Its attention to the future of the U.S. housing finance system. Today, the House Financial Services Subcommittee on Capital Markets will be looking at the issue of private mortgage insurance. Here now with the first on CNBC with the preview is Representative, our friend, Paul Kanjorski, Chairman of the committee. Good morning, Congressman.
Good morning, Joe.
It's good to see you. Oh, here we go. Here's another one. Private mortgage insurers, and these guys, I guess anytime you have a situation like what we have, that much tumult, you imagine some of these guys aren't capitalized well enough, but what was their role in all of this?
Well, actually, to some extent, they caused the private market was packaging some of the securitized loans that really went and then were sold to Fannie and Freddie and caused a lot of the problem. But that's looking at the past. Looking at the future, our big question today is, where does the market stand? Where is it going? What can we do to facilitate it? Do we need a secondary market? If so, do we need a significant change from Fannie and Freddie? And if so, what alternatives do we have to deal with? So there are some big questions before us today. But, Joe, as I told you on a prior program, first, we solved in finance and reform and regulatory reform the basic process. Now we've completed that. Now we're going to the institutions and to the market. And we intend to have additional hearings. We've had 5 so far this year. This is the 5th today. We'll have additional ones in September and later on in the year. And then we'll be moving on to reform the GSAs.
What do you think the problem was? Is that a lot of these things, the 2,300 pages, a lot of people say we just needed more capital everywhere, Congressman, and I guess some of these guys needed more as well, right?
I say more than just more capital. I think we've answered that problem in the reform bill, more skin in the game. I don't think we should ever go to the point that people can play these games, create this paper, and then once they create it, they can sell it off immediately and have no recourse to them. We've got to make sure that they're acting as if it's their money at risk at all times. And I think we can clean that system up. We have in this regulatory reform bill. The regulators have to comply with that, too. But we'll do it. Joe, I guess I want to be optimistic this morning and tell you, come on, be optimistic. We're on our way to recovery. We're going to get this solved. And once the housing market turns around, then this economy will really flash out.
Congressman, it's Andrew Sorkin here. I have a question. You put out a statement ahead of this hearing today, and you said private mortgage insurance has helped many Americans achieve the dream of home ownership. And I want to talk about the dream of home ownership. Conceptually, philosophically, should that still be the American dream? Because, you know, just in terms of the way we're going forward, isn't home ownership part of the problem and that dream itself?
Well, I think it is in terms of it's an object that we can have a goal to head toward home ownership. It doesn't fit all people. Some people aren't capable of home ownership at this time, and we should go through a process of education to help them be able to be homeowners. But in reality, we've always found over history, home ownership is probably the best equity builder that our system has ever had, particularly for the lower income classes and for the middle class. So we want to make sure that we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater and change in midstream that we have some different idols in the world. No, we can stay with pretty much what has been successful through the second half of the last century into this century, but we've got to clean up our act and make it less risky.
Indeed, it is the American dream. Congressman, you mentioned a moment ago the words, once the housing market turns around. What's your best bet as to when it will turn around?
Well, I'll tell you, that one number we just heard quoted there from 97 down to 82, that's an indication that there's some feelings of ability to be self-sufficient in the market without having a government underwriting. And that's very healthy. But I think, look, people can't buy homes if they don't have jobs. Our effort now has to be in this country in a concerted focus method to create jobs, and get this unemployment rate down. But I think it's happening. It's too slow. We've got to find other methods. I'm looking forward this morning to being briefed by Mr. Zandi and Mr. Schiller, I think, on home ownership in their recent report. I think that's going to indicate that we probably have made some right decisions in the past. I heard Joe a little earlier suggest that maybe he wasn't certain yet. I'm going to come back in a month or so, Joe, and
well, which one are you talking? There's the TARP. That was all the policies. We're talking about whether stimulus, whether we got the bang for.
Right. We did.
Congressman. You know that without stimulus, it was forecast we'd go to 9.5%. With it, we were going to keep it under 8%. We're at 9.5%, so we know how numbers work. Didn't quite work out the first time. So
absolutely, nobody expected this recession to be as swift.
Those were the numbers we got, right, from Christina Romer.
Yep, and I guess we should take Christine out and shoot her or something.
No, but garbage in, garbage out. I can get you supply-siders that'll give you a different take on whether the stimulus worked. I mean, Mark Zandi's a Keynesian.
I agree, and I think we've practiced that.
Don't you rib me? You know you're gonna. You know I'm not just gonna sit here. You do it on purpose. Look at you. You look like a Cheshire cat.
We have fun together.
We do.
Joe, the one thing is we have to conclude the whole thing is we're moving ahead. We're going to be successful. I think we've seen the worst of the problem. It was great news that the European crisis is behind us. Now we have to concentrate domestically here at home. We can do it. And I would say in the next 30, 60, 90 days, we're going to see very optimistic returns.
Well, you know, Congressman, nobody likes 9.5%. And you know, because we've talked about it, you know the private sector is responsible for jobs. So we have a lot of work to do on just the notion that maybe business is the enemy. When business provides all the jobs, and there's that perception, and maybe some corporate managers feel it, and you know we've got a lot of work to do, and November's coming, so we are able to work together. I don't know why the rest of Washington is.
That's right. We had to get together and invite them to dinner, Joe, and let them see how people of different persuasions can talk.
We can mediate because of our relationship. Thank you, Congressman. Appreciate it. Good luck.